Welcome back, Grade 6, to Nelson Math, Chapter 7, Section 1, Estimating Angle Measures. For this section, it's important to get a bearing or context about different angles so that we know we're on the right track. Sometimes we don't need an exact angle. We can use the angles that we know that are very easy to get to estimate the angles that we do not know. Here are three angles, which are what we might call benchmark angles or some very common angles. One of the easiest angles to see would be a 90 degree. That means that it looks like, for example, the corner of a wall or a piece of paper or a floor tile. It's very simple to see. And one that's a little bit smaller than this might be 85 or 86, and one that's a little bit bigger might be 93 or 94. Another one that's very easy to see would be a 45. And we know a 45 because we can imagine there's a 90-degree angle here. So pretend there's a line that goes straight up from this bottom line right here. It goes straight up. This 45 is exactly half of the 90. Exactly half of 90 is 45. So if we wanted to take a 90-degree angle and cut it in half, it would be exactly 45. One more is a 2-for-1 deal here. This one here is labeled 60. But if we imagine once again that there is a straight up and down line, a straight vertical line that goes right here, straight up from this horizontal line, then that would be a 90 degrees. But if we go 2/3 of the way up, 2/3 of 90 is 60. So whatever's left over here would be whatever we need to get to 90, and that would be a 30. So if you can tell from this angle here, 2/3 of the way up is 60, then you're also given approximately what the other 30 would be as an estimate. So let's take a look at that now. If we look at this angle, A, we know for sure it's less than 90 because the 90 would go all the way up. So if we were to look at a 45, compare it to a 45, it's pretty close. It's very close to a 45, but not exactly 45. So we could take this one and say, well, it's a bit more than a 45, but we're going to estimate that it's about 60 degrees. To know exactly, of course, we'd have to measure it. But between, let's say, 55 and 60 would be pretty accurate. That would be a pretty good estimate. Let's look at B here. Once again, we know this is definitely not a 90, but it's way more than a 45, which would come out to about here. And if we estimated this one to be a 60, then we know this one is more than 60, but definitely less than 90. So we could estimate this one to be about 80 degrees. Could be 75, it could be 82 or 83, but we're going to estimate this one at about 80 degrees. This one here looks very close to a 90, but if you look closely, this line here is not straight up and down. This line here is straight across, but this one is not straight up and down. This one's just slightly curving to the right. So we know for sure it's less than 90, but it's definitely more than the 80 and way, way more than the estimate of 60. So we're going to estimate this one at just under 90 degrees. Because it says about 90, it does not say exactly 90. We can estimate this one at 88 or 89 degrees. And lastly here, we can see that if we imagine there is a 90 here, this number or this angle right here is about right in the middle. It's approximately right in the middle. So if it's right in the middle, it makes it about 45 degrees. Thanks, everyone. Happy estimating. Have a good day.